to the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour, where we dive into the world of wedding entrepreneurs. Learn how they got started, what advice they have for you, and everything in between. So grab a drink and take a seat as we interview amazing vendors with your hosts, Derek and Jade. Wedding Vendors Happy Hour. It's a podcast, but it's also happy hour.
Welcome back, vendors, to another episode of the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour. I'm Derek with Derek Preciado Photography.
And I'm Jade with Jade Preciado Events. Today's episode is going to be a roller coaster ride because we're delving into some of the most jaw-dropping vendor horror stories we've stumbled across online. And to clarify that, Derek has stumbled across these online. This is going to be a surprise for me too, and I'm a little nervous.
That's right. I've uncovered tales online that will leave you cringing and in awe. So grab a drink, take a seat, and let's get to it. All right, let's get into it. Our first story comes from a photographer. So I'm curious to what they have to say. And it starts.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. Wedding photographer here. A few years ago, we shot this beautiful Catholic wedding with a large reception at an expensive golf course. While we were out taking photos of the newlyweds out on the golf course, the bride's uncle hit me up. The bride's uncle hit me up the open bar at cocktail hour. Hey, this is what they wrote. I'm just reading while they typed it.
Get it.
That's how they said it. Okay. The problem. Oh, okay. Let's backtrack.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Okay, so while we're taking photos of the newlyweds at the golf course, the bride's uncle hit me up.
Hit up the open bar.
He hit up the open bar.
Oh my goodness.
At the cocktail hour. These beers are already taking me out. All right, at cocktail hour. So the uncle hit up the bar.
Should we start over?
No. All right, hit the bar at the cocktail hour. The problem, he was a recovering alcoholic.
Ooh.
Okay. Questions. Okay, if there was a recovering alcoholic uncle, is it the couple's fault for not notifying the bartenders that there was a recovering alcoholic uncle, or did the bride already tell the bartenders and they knew about it but just forgot? As a planner, what are you thinking? And should they have notified the planner?
Always notify the planner of sensitive situations like this so that we are in the know and can anticipate any issues. It is helpful to let the bartenders know, like if you do have any sober guests, you don't necessarily need to pinpoint out, I don't think, names or particulars unless it's like someone special like mother or bride or something like that we want to be extra sensitive towards. But we also don't want them to, feel singled out. So there's a balance there, but at least knowing that there's sober guests and having options for them. Nowadays, there's so many different, non-alcoholic, what do you call them? Mocktails that you can do. Yeah. So just having those options available at the bar, or at least having any bartender should be able to make any drink non-alcoholic.
But a recovering, so he would look normal.
Yeah.
So how would a bartender point that out?
It's not their responsibility to know. Like if a guest is coming up to them requesting a drink, like they're not gonna say like, "Are you a recovering alcoholic?"
That's true.
But if the couple knows about it ahead of time and wants to be transparent about it with the bartenders and planner, whatever, to make it easier on that guest, I think is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, man. The way I started reading this, I sounded like I had too many drinks.
Yeah, I was so confused. Okay. I didn't know where it was going.
All right, let's continue. The story goes, not even a delicious dinner could soak up the booze. So I guess he already started slamming the beers down, or cocktails.
Okay.
Can't even soak up the booze. And right after dancing started, we saw a ton of waitstaff bolting for the door to the parking lot. The newlyweds ran outside to see her uncle without many clothes on. So I guess the uncle's butt naked now.
Yeah.
Or something.
Oh.
chasing another family member with a machete
What?
in the parking structure.
Is this real?
We stood there in horror as he jumped in the truck and sped off into the night. As the police were called, we went back inside, packed our things, quietly thanked the couple for a lovely day, and left. What the heck? Did
they take photos of this or just politely ignore?
So I'm assuming they finished their day. The photographers did complete their timing because it was like after reception time.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so they didn't just like were scared and were like, hey, this is just too much and we're leaving.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but that took a turn.
Okay, uncle running out butt naked, chasing someone with a machete, jumped into a truck and sped off into the night.
Have not seen that one before. No,
that is too much.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got another one here. Jade, take it away on this one.
Oh, I get to read one. Okay. So this one says, I have been in the wedding industry for 10 years, and the worst experience was what kind of vendor is this from?
We're gonna find out. I'm not quite sure yet. It kind of sounds like a planner.
Okay, let's see.
Sounds like a planner.
I've been in the wedding industry for 10 years, and the worst experience was during a rehearsal the night before. A woman arrived stating she was the groom's mother. I led her to the meeting spot and waited for the happy couple to arrive. Once they did, I said, your mom is here and waiting for you. They both gave me funky looks, and he said, that's not possible. I just checked her into the hotel, and she will be late.
Whoa. Who's this mysterious lady? What the heck?
So far, it's not too scary, but let's see.
But there's a mysterious lady.
Yeah. Turns out the first woman to arrive was his biological mother who had left him.
Oh.
Wow. His dad and his baby brother.
So the family.
Okay. Yeah. So the biological left him, his dad, and his baby brother when he was only 3 for another man.
Wow.
Yeah. And they hadn't seen or heard from her since. To make it even better, she brought the new man and the family that she created with her. She even tried insisting that she would walk him down the aisle. So this is the first time that the son, I mean, you probably have early memories when you're 3 years old, but he doesn't know his biological mom, has not heard a word. Somehow she figures out that he's getting married and he didn't invite her, obviously.
Shows up.
And she shows up.
How would you handle that situation as a wedding planner?
I would take the couple aside and honestly let them soak in the bomb that was just dropped on them and see how they want to navigate it. Like maybe he does want to talk it through with his mom, or maybe he wants to just have her escorted out and revisit this reunion on a less momentous day. I don't know. It depends on how the bride and groom is feeling about it. And that's really all that I care about. So.
Yeah, that's crazy that this random, or not even random, his biological mom shows up with the new man.
Yeah.
And just wanting, and then asking to walk him down the aisle. Or she wants to walk him down the aisle.
No heads up at all that she's coming. I think it would be different if she were to reach out to him and try to like connect before rehearsal day, not just wing it.
Because you've dealt with situations, and all of us, I think vendors have dealt with situations, well, at least photographers and planners, when it comes to family photo shoots and wedding, and the planner dealing with seating arrangements, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Weddings bring out a lot of different dynamics, some interesting dynamics, some sensitive dynamics. And so it's always helpful for us to know those things ahead of time. But I don't think that it sounds like he wasn't expecting this to happen either.
I was going to say too, because it sounds like we've dealt with situations where they are aware of their biological mom or dad who aren't together, with their mom or dad now or something. And then they're trying to bring it in to see if they're cool with taking photos together, or maybe in your situation like, sitting by each other. But this person had no idea and just popped in there.
That's bold on her. Like, I don't know. If you abandoned your family when they were just 3 years old, totally went over to a new family, that would be like bold to come back on a rehearsal day. I don't know.
That's messed up. I wonder if this guy had like a really super nice, lavish wedding going on and she's like, I want to be a part of this, and come in there and just try to, make her stand or something. That's just sad. But then it's the mom. I mean, they could go thinking in her head.
What happened though? Like, do we know?
No, we don't know.
We don't know what happened after that.
Nope, that's it.
That is it. Wow, cliffhanger. Did she walk him down the aisle? We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. Did she leave? She probably stayed? I'm pretty sure what would you do?
Well, probably, again, depending on bride and groom's digesting that whole big bomb and if they were able to swallow that pill. I mean, really depends on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm building off of their reaction. Like, I feel like the safest answer, if he was okay with her being there, probably wouldn't be as important, as forefront of a role. Like, they'd probably want to still stick with their original plan, like not having a relationship with his mother and everything. I think that if anything, they might be okay with her just, taking a seat in the back, being preceded, observing it, being there for this moment so that in the future they could potentially rebuild their relationship.
Yeah. So anyone that's listening, or our audience, you guys that are listening, let us know in the comments. What would you guys have done in this situation? I'm interested.
Wonder what they did.
All right, let's get into the third one. That's another photographer.
Okay. Just photographer and planners. I mean, that makes sense. That's what we are.
Okay. But all right, here we go. We were at a wedding photographing at an upscale Malibu venue. We had the worst wedding planner and caterer ever. Let's start right there. Okay, they had the worst planner.
Why are you looking at me? It wasn't me.
I know it's not you. I'm just saying worst planner and caterer ever. Okay, that could be scary.
Yes,
that could be very scary. Core, like
everyone's important, but it's an important role.
Everything. Yeah, but they're like, the planner is like the boss, the glue, and the caterer is like, if no one's eating, everyone's grumpy.
Yeah, and service. That's a big role.
All right, here we go. Let's continue it. The planner was essentially useless all day and showed up dressed like a call girl, like a call girl. Okay. I'm not quite sure what that looks like. I'm guessing like a little hoochie mama or something.
Yeah, sounds like it.
All right. Whatever. So they were saying like, whatever, she dressed like she dressed, whatever. She's here at work. She's at least here. Stuff got done. Oh, she did her job. So she dressed like a call girl and stuff got done. That's all we cared about. All right. Dinner rolled around and we sat patiently waiting for our plates, which never showed up. All right. This one, okay. I mean, I could go into everyone. I know everyone, the vendor caterer battle.
I'm wondering if that's all this is about.
Let's find out.
That's not like horror stories. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
Yeah. So, cause us as like photographers, videographers, we're usually like, want to eat when the bride eats, but sometimes
because if you don't eat, then you don't get to eat, because you have to usually take them out for sunset photos, and when you get back, prepare for toast.
But then by the time, exactly, for toast. Mm-hmm. By the time we eat, because if we have to eat last, toast come up and we have to go get it.
And for context, like, we always make sure we pay for vendor meals ahead of time, so it's already included in the bill. So it's just like we usually try to communicate with the caterer to see like if there is a crunch time, especially like for photo, video, anyone like time sensitive, where if they don't eat when the bride and groom eats, or like, after a few tables, whatever, if they don't eat on time, they don't get to eat at all. So if that's the case, then we always connect with caterer to make sure that you guys can eat.
All right, let's continue. We let the planner know that we still hadn't gotten dinner even after the last table has been served. Wow. Okay, so now they usually were told, hey, you got to wait till the last table. Mm-hmm. But now they still haven't received a thing and everyone's already eating. I'm surprised. So did they catch toast already, or that's pretty... Okay, last table's been served. and she didn't do anything about it. She didn't even care. Hey, stop. I can see she didn't do anything about it. So the planner, so that's why they're saying she's the worst. Because they said from point blank, she did their job, but she showed up like a hoochie, but she did her job, but she didn't give a damn.
So maybe she didn't even like account for vendor meals.
Maybe.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, that's true too. Maybe the couple didn't pay for it.
Because it's not something that everyone thinks. Usually by the time I bring it up, like they're like, oh yeah, of course we want to feed our vendors.
Yeah.
But
let's see. Maybe this one's like, nah, we're not going to feed these workers. All right, let's continue. All right. Since getting dinner is in our contract, I spoke with the caterer and said I spoke to the caterer who said they'd fix us up a plate. Mm-hmm. Since dancing has already started, we took turns eating, so no coverage was lost. All right, that's a good little plan. And as I'm scarfing my food down, I look at my fork and see a dead cockroach.
Okay.
With my cold salmon. Turned out the caterers had forgotten about us because the planner never reminded them. And they had gotten our food from the trash can.
What?
To add insult to injury, after the wedding, the planner offered to refer us to future couples for a 25% fee. What the hell? Okay. Let's break this down. Wow. Okay. Planner showed us hoochie. They didn't care about the vendors eating cold trash can food.
That's a little much. Yeah.
Cockroach in your salmon.
Yeah, that's not.
Okay. How did they even get to the point where they ate and didn't even see the cockroach in the beginning?
I know. Do they say it's under the? It's just with the fish.
Maybe they tucked it under the salmon.
Like, how do you not see the cockroach as you're pulling it out of the trash? I don't know. Why would you pull it out of the trash? Why won't you just be honest? Like, hey, we already threw the food out. Like I would much rather have that than eat trash food with a cockroach.
Yeah, I would rather have the caterer say, yo, look, it wasn't accounted for.
Yeah.
The planner didn't tell us.
Then you just get your, protein bar out or whatever. Like, I don't get hungry on wedding days. It's hard to remember to sit down and eat, but
yeah, that's crazy. Planners work so hard and they're always on their feet running around, but you guys you guys sometimes don't even eat.
We always eat, but I always take it last, like during toast is a good time for us to, eat a little bit, but yeah. We're just making sure things like this don't happen.
That is crazy. So don't show up at a wedding just like a hoochie. Right? Yeah. That's number one. Present yourself how you want to. First impressions are everything. So look the part. And then for the catering thing, it wasn't their fault in this situation. Which it sounds like it wasn't their fault. But it sounds like they forgot to include vendor meals. Yeah. So, the caterer at least could have gave them a heads up and said, yo, photo video guys, we don't got your dinners. Sorry. I wonder if they told the planner that and she was like, oh, can you get it out of the trash? Oh my God. That would be worse. But she's like, oh, or what if who knows? What if that planner was the one that grabbed him out of the trash? All of this is speculation. We don't know who the heck these people are, what they did, but it sounds not too pleasant. Luckily, we've never have been in a situation like this. No. I've heard of people receiving like cold sandwiches and like ham sandwiches or maybe a PBJ. I've never even had that. Like all of our caterers are wonderful. Yeah. And we always factor it into the bills. So it's never really an issue. It's a matter of like when we're being served, but we always work it out. Dang. So my question is now for you, Jade. So a planner, do you always ask the couple, hey, are you including the vendors' meals? And if they say no, are you reaching out? Are you sending an email to the vendor saying, hey, look, they didn't pay for vendor meals. FYI, you got to bring your meals. Because we always assume that we're going to eat. It seems like the vendors, or at least photo and video, we always assume because it's in our contract. Mm-hmm. We always assume we're going to eat. So how do you deal with that? So thankfully, I've never had to deal with that because it's always a part of our conversations 2 months out when we're, doing the final timeline meeting and everything. We cover that. Yeah. So, our couples have been so gracious as to
always like want to feed us. So we always just chat through it. I tell them that I'm going to handle, finalizing the vendor meal count based on your team and how many team members each of them is bringing and who is expected to eat, who we're expected to feed during that time. And they always no issues with it. Like they're thankful for me to handle gathering the meal count for them. And they of course, respect and appreciate all of our time. So want to at least provide food. Yeah. So I've never had an issue with it. I did have one time where they wanted to order pizzas for us.
Hey, I'm down with pizza.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a pizza person, but again, I barely eat at weddings. So I didn't mind. but yeah, that was the only one where I was just, they didn't want it included in their bill for the caterer. So we ordered pizzas, had them delivered, and that was perfectly totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was happy with pizza.
Yeah. I would be happy with a good old pizza. I'm not going to complain with pizza, but cockroach in my salmon, we're going to have a problem. Cockroach in my food, trash bin food. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. Amazing. I love it. Crazy stories. What you guys think? Let us know. That was insane. All right. That cockroach trash bin story was pretty gnarly. But let's get into the last one.
Okay, here we go. So this one says, my cousin works at a resort that hosts a lot of weddings in Port Douglas, Australia. She told me about the most garbage.
Another garbage. Here we go.
Bridezilla.
Oh.
Okay. Who sets out rules for her bridesmaids. No getting enraged, no hair changing, no getting pregnant, etc.
No getting pregnant?
When one poor bridesmaid accidentally got pregnant, I mean,
how do you, that's a crazy rule.
Yeah.
She doesn't want big belly girls in her bridal parties. What's she saying?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Rather than it being your close friend. And if it's a part of their life plan to get pregnant, but this was, not planned. And then miscarried about a week before the wedding. Oh,
dang.
She told the bride she needed a procedure first to remove the miscarriage.
Brutal.
And that she would still be in the wedding.
Okay, so she wanted to get the miscarriage and she said she'll still be a bridesmaid.
Yeah. That's a lot to go through though, a week before a wedding. So it's nice that bridesmaid was worried about this. But anyways, said bridezilla was absolutely off her tree as her rules about getting pregnant were violated. And she forcefully coerced this girl who obviously was terrified and was also bleeding, spotting, and very uncomfortable to put off the procedure until after the wedding and still be in the wedding party.
Whoa, hold up. So she wanted her to keep the miscarriage inside and still do the wedding and then get it after?
I don't like this one.
This is
It's not even a wedding vendor horror story. It's
a horror story.
I mean, maybe this is.
This could affect vendors though. If a vendor saw this bridesmaid and so if a photographer were lining them up and she was just looking pale or weird or just not normal. That can affect us.
Yeah. That's already such a tragic thing to happen. And just to not have, the heart to just let her, for one, do what's needed to button that up. And the bridesmaid was graciously graciously saying hey, I'll make sure I'm still in the wedding.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's a good friend.
She was. Yeah.
All right, let's continue it. Let's do the last part. Here we go.
All because she wanted a perfect day. The other bridesmaids didn't find out about this until in between the ceremony and reception. When bridezilla was berating the poor bridesmaid for looking miserable for the photos. Yeah.
I knew it.
All the bridesmaids then subtly up and left during the reception before the speeches. All checked out of the resort and left together. So they basically strike.
This is brutal. I told you, you see, she looked miserable during the portrait sessions and probably throughout the whole wedding.
Yeah.
But good for the bridesmaids. They're looking at her, keeping her up and saying, you know what, this is wrong. And they all just striked out.
Yeah. So maybe just, you're choosing your bridesmaids because they're like one of the most, whatever, the handful of most important friends in your lives. And keyword being friends. So don't destroy relationships out of this. Like, be a friend. That obviously is like unforeseen, and the bridesmaid wouldn't have chosen that, I'd imagine. So just being kind and there for her for what they need and any accommodations, I think would be nice.
Yeah, I think, and also it kind of opened up my eyes as a photographer and videographer, just like looking at the bridesmaids now and like, okay, does anyone look off? Does anyone look a little pale? Does anyone look kind of...
I mean, we've had so many pregnant bridesmaids, and the bride was like so thrilled for them, like that they're like future godmothers and they want to make sure that the pregnant bridesmaid is comfortable. Like I've so many times have had brides say like, yes, if she needs a chair during the ceremony, or if you could have like a bottled water under her seat, like I want to make sure that she's comfortable. Like even if she can't stand up there or needs to sit up there, whatever she needs, and we make it happen. And then bridesmaid is still a part of the group and has bride support.
And this one had big bride support, bridesmaid support. Oh, they all just striked.
Yeah.
They left before speeches.
It's unfortunate that it came to that.
That is unfortunate. The only situation I had, here's a little horror story on my end. One time with the bridal party, I was at during the ceremony, hot day.
I remember this.
It was a hot day and we were just like getting ready. It was ceremony was going on. We're just, just doing our thing. And all of a sudden one of the groomsmen faints.
Yeah.
Straight up faints. I mean, it was sad. They were, I could say they were drunk. They were drinking. That's what, probably dehydration and drunk took them out.
And the heat. It's a bad combination. That's a cocktail in itself, asking for disaster. So just if you are, drinking pre-ceremony, make sure that you're hydrated, balancing it out with water. We love liquid IV. I always keep one in my pack. I just used it this weekend for a bride that was a little bit, sensitive to alcohol, and that picked her up.
Yeah. So I would rather see, I don't want to see anyone faint, but knowing that they were just having a good time and he was just a little drunk and they fainted. During the ceremony, they got him a chair, they sat him down, he got his composure back, and they went back to the ceremony. Good. But in their situation where this lady had a dead baby and she was just miserable, bleeding throughout that is brutal.
So heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't wish that on any bridesmaid. That is insane. That's insane.
On anybody.
On anybody.
It's not, I didn't like that one. Okay. But it is someone's story.
It is someone's story, and it is something that I hope that none of us ever face.
Yeah.
During a wedding day. That is insane. Well, guys, we've heard some unbelievable stories today. But before we sign off, let me leave you with a little piece of advice. When it comes to planning or working a wedding day, expect the unexpected, stay flexible, and remember to laugh off the hiccups along the way.
And if you ever find yourself in a vendor horror story of your own, remember that you're not alone. Reach out to your support team. Resolve it how you can. Laugh it off. And remember that at the end of the day, it's all a part of the adventure.
That's for sure. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour. Until then, follow us to hear from some more amazing wedding professionals and some more spin-off episodes. Whether you're tuning in to our podcast or watching it on YouTube, stay inspired and keep those wedding dreams alive. We'll catch you on Season 2, Episode 7.
Thank you for listening to the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour.